Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of TCS Student News. Happy Friday to you all. I'm Tyleiah Trusty.
And I'm Olivia Yates. Let's jump right into the news. To begin, we will be talking about spies in the U.S. In the United States, an expert estimates that there are about 100,000 foreign agents working for at least 60 to 80 nations, all spying on America. Authorities warn that spies in America are not a thing of the past. More than 2 decades after the end of the Cold War, Russian spies still seek to operate in our midst under the cover of secrecy. Heightened tensions between Russia and the United States make the idea of Russian spies living among Americans not surprising. Some of them are following the current U.S. government investigations into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election and potential collusion with members of Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Spies pose as members of other professions, like business people and engineers or scientists. They have fake names, fake tax records, and lie to their friends and family about their real identities. In all honesty, a spy could be right next to you and you wouldn't know it.
In another tragic story, Hurricane Florence has trapped hundreds and hundreds of people in the Carolinas by floodwaters. Hurricane Florence has devastatingly killed 18 people in the Carolinas so far, and hundreds of people are still trapped in parts of North and South Carolina. Road flooding has cut off the coastal city of Wilmington. Hurricane Florence is still continuing to dump a lot of rain over the Carolinas and doesn't seem to stop yet. One of the many problems the flooding has caused was that no one could get in, and the floods carry a lot of debris and diseases. Wilmington-based Cape Fear Public Utility Authority urged people to fill up bathtubs with water just in case anyone ran out, because the utility doesn't have enough fuel and resources to keep the plant running. Olivia, back to you.
The hurricane is devastating, and our hearts go out to the people that are affected. Let's talk about the U.S. and China. Trade tensions are starting to rise. Every time this trade war escalates, the risk to U.S. consumers grows. President Trump caused the trade war to escalate on Monday when he put a 10% tariff on 200 billion Chinese products. Beijing said it will respond by putting tariffs on $60 billion worth of U.S. goods next week. The tariffs that Beijing says it will place will mean higher prices on things like orange juice, shampoo, shoes such as Vans, peanut butter, and tools. President Trump has argued that pushing trading partners will result in new deals that are more favorable to the U.S.
No, not the Vans. Wonderful story, Liv. Hopefully this doesn't affect a lot of people. Did you know eating a lot of junk food can increase your chances in developing cancer? We all know that eating junk and fatty foods is bad for you and can cause heart disease, obesity, and metabolic disease. Scientists have now found that eating foods that are low in nutrition could tie into increased risks of multiple types of cancer. Nutri-Score logo is based on British Food Standards Agency nutrition profiling program has calculated for a specific food beverage using 100-gram content measure for energy as in calories, sugars, saturated fatty acids, fiber, sodium, and proteins. Over 33 food manufacturers and companies have begun to use this system. The aim of this study was to provide scientific evidence of the BFSA as an underlying basis for Nutri-Score. The score in total, reflecting a lower nutritional quality diet, was associated to higher risk to cancer. People who ate most junk food in all their lives all show higher risk of cancer. In summary of all this, kids, it's very important that you stay on the good diet while you're young, so you won't increase your chances in developing this disease.
Let's get into some TCS news. First, on behalf of the students, I would like to congratulate Mr. Tom on receiving his college degree. Mr. Tom worked very hard to earn his degree. While working for it, Mr. Tom came in every day to the school to teach and stayed late. I find this to be very inspiring. To me, this is evidence that you can achieve anything if you work hard enough. Thank you, Mr. Tom, for working so hard for the school and being a great teacher and mentor to me and my classmates.
I would also love to send our appreciation to Ms. Peg for bringing in the delicious beef stew on Tuesday. We could honestly say we enjoyed the lunch for Tuesday. I would also love to send our appreciation to Ms. Carol for bringing in the yummy pulled pork and the potato salad. Thanks to you both, your help is greatly appreciated to TCS students and staff.
We would like to recognize Mr. Russell, Destiny's father. Mr. Russell brought in granola bars, strawberries, water bottles, bread, oranges, and more for the students to eat. Thank you so much, Mr. Russell, for the food, and thank you for supporting us. A lot of what the school runs on is generous donations like this.
In the light of the amazing sponsor meeting we had last Thursday, September 13th, we had a series of groups that were split up into 3 and were in different rooms discussing on how to better the school. A summary of what the groups talked about was ideas they could use for fundraising and helping to bring food for the students. Everyone also agreed about dances and events for fundraising or just raising funds for the students, staff, and sponsors. Thank you for your support and for coming to help.
This past Wednesday, a group called the ACIM came into our school and provided us with lunch. For lunch, we had garlic bread, salad, meatballs, stuffed shells, and cupcake brownies. Not only did they provide us with lunch, but we had a conversation with them and we all ate lunch together. The food was prepared by Miss Susan, Miss Yvonne, Miss Francesca, Miss Joanne, Miss Leah, and Miss Fran. Thank you for making us the food. We had the opportunity to speak to Miss Susan, Miss Margarita, Miss Kathy, Miss Leah, and Miss Margaret. They explained what their organization is about. The ACIM is an Italian women's group that does work with education. One of the things they do is working with colleges to help provide scholarships. They also do work in the community. We also talked about immigration, and each of the members of the ACIM talked about immigration in their family. The conversation was really enlightening, and the food was amazing. ACIM, thank you so much for coming to our school, and thank you for the food. We can't wait to see you again.
On Wednesday, unfortunately, the Greenmount School, where we have PE at, was closed. We had a great opportunity to spend time with one another at a park nearby. I personally believe this was a great experience to develop a stronger bond with my classmates. Olivia, what were your thoughts on the fantastic day at the park?
I thought it was really fun, and it was good to hang out with everyone in a non-classroom setting. I would love to do things more like this.
On Wednesday, September 19th, Olivia and I got the great opportunity to interview Mr. Cheo Thomas. I overheard Mr. Cheo listening to gospel music and wanted to recommend a great song he could listen to called Father, Can You Hear Me? I was led by surprise when he then informed me that he was a reverend at New Life Worship Center. His name is Reverend Cheo Thomas. I then proceeded to ask, why did you want to become a reverend? Mr. Cheo then said, I felt like this was a calling. I wanted to fulfill this position. I like being a reverend, and I like to influence others and help them do better in their lives. I have done a lot of weddings and funerals. I have shown and continue to show salvation through Jesus, which has been an amazing experience for me. I then asked Mr. Cheo when he became a reverend. Mr. Cheo said, I became licensed on January 28th of 2018. I have also been in the ministry for 4 years. I have always grown up in a church. My family has a good group of pastors and are very involved in the church. Thank you so much, Mr. Cheo, for providing this information to us. This was also a very inspiring story to us all.
Thank you for speaking with us, Mr. Cheo. It was very inspiring, and it was cool to learn something new about you. Well, that wraps us up for this week's edition of TCS Student News.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
We'll see you next week.